Hi Danny, how are you liking the game so far? It's very mixed. So, I've undergone the character arc of hating the intermissions just on principle to realizing that, like, some of them are actually okay. So where I'm at right now is I like the intermissions. I think they're a cool alternate way to play, but I hate that they're forced. I hate that there's no option to turn them off. That's my biggest issue, is not being able to turn off the intermissions in Grand Prix mode. That and, like, as beautiful as this game is, no video game is worth $80. Especially not, like, let's be for real, the amount of content in this is not super high. And I think the fact that it relies on large, like, some of the appeal is the multiplayer, which relies on a large number of other people purchasing it, which is going to happen less because it's so expensive. Like, inherently devalues it in a weird way where, like, because it costs more, it's worth less. Ironically. So, like, those are my main complaints. But the tracks themselves, when I get to actually play them, are really cool. Some of the intermissions are really cool. Like this right here, this is technically an intermission, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Like these womps that turn into ramps. I'm in 11th place, which is less cool. Sometimes the boundaries of the tracks, especially during intermissions, are hard to figure out. But I'm sure I'll get used to it as it goes on. The costumes is a really cool addition. Beyonda! And of course, you know, the game itself is fun in the way that Mario Kart is always fun, right? Like, if you like Mario Kart, you'll like World. But it's definitely not my favorite. As of right now, I feel like, I mean, one, I wouldn't recommend spending $80 on it, right? The only reason it was 50 for me because I got the bundle. The only reason I got the bundle is because I need it for work. Because, like, my job is Nintendo YouTuber. You know, Fire Emblem YouTuber, but Nintendo YouTuber, right? So if there's a new Fire Emblem, I'm gonna need to have it. And, you know, even though there's no Fire Emblem on it yet, I do think that playing a Nintendo game on the YouTube, you know, it feels like, not necessarily an obligation, but it is a business investment, right? So, like, I felt semi-obligated to get it, and I know I'm going to have to get it eventually, and the price is never gonna drop because it's a Nintendo console. So that's part of why I got it, and then, like, the other thing is that because of those first factors, I do get to write it off on my taxes, which people just assume means free stuff. All it means is, like, I have to pay slightly less taxes as a result of how much I spent on my business. I've probably reached the maximum amount that I can write off, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because at a certain point, depending on how much money you make, writing off more doesn't change things, right? Because I'm self-employed, rather than taxes being taken out of my paycheck, I do have to pay them myself manually every year. Popcorn, yummy, yummy. Oasis, okay. I actually really like this outfit. I think it's cute. That being said, I would like to speak to someone from, like, a Middle Eastern, West Asian country as to whether or not this would be offensive. Because I know there's a lot of, like, Orientalist fetishization stuff around these things. things. So, like, I really like the outfit, but if someone from a community affected by it says, like, actually bad, then I don't want to endorse something that, as a white person, I can't really speak to, right? The Womp ramps are called Wamps. That's fucking adorable. But yeah, I would not recommend spending $500 to get the Switch 2 unless, like, Mario Kart is really, really important to you. If you're in a financial situation where you have to ask yourself if it's worth it, it's not. But if you're in a financial situation where you don't have to ask yourself and you want it, you know, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. Especially because, so the worth it versus not worth it is especially actually relevant, I think, because I was looking to see what other games are out, because the Donkey Kong one is definitely going to be a day one purchase for me. There's like no games for this yet. Like, this is a very weak launch. I almost fucking killed myself there. My take on the price is that it's a very unfortunate curse on a game that I'm having a lot of fun with so far. So I am of the opinion that, like, no game... Whoa! That's so cool! Holy shit! Wowie zowie! I'm of the opinion that no game is worth $80, and especially Mario Kart 8 just doesn't feel like it has enough content for it. Damn, that do be cool, though. But I also think, like... I know some people are trying to do, like, a Switch 2 boycott thing. I feel like gamer boycotts just don't fucking do anything. And also, Nintendo is not going to... care. That being said, in terms of, like, the Switch 2 selling out, the pre-order situation was ridiculous, which would lead you to believe that they're, like, completely selling out immediately, right? Not the case. I didn't pre-order. I didn't try. The first day the Switch 2 came out, I forgot it had come out. So I didn't start looking for the Switch 2 until it was like 5 o'clock at night that day. And I went to a couple of places and they were all sold out. But like, they had only recently sold out, right? There wasn't like they immediately sold out in the morning, fresh because of the rush, people was camping outside the store or whatever. I went to a Target, at like 7, and I asked one of the employees, like, hey, just making sure, because I know it's a high demand item, like, I'm assuming this is sold out, but you don't have them, like, in the back to stop theft? Because I thought maybe, you know, a retail store for something like this might keep them in the back and make you ask to stop shoplifting, right? And they said no, the last 3 sold out at 3 in the afternoon, which is really fucking late for something like a console launch, right? Later I went to a different Target. Oh no, that happened at Best Buy. That was Best Buy. When I went to Target, I was walking into the Target and I saw someone walking out with a Switch 2 and I was like, damn, okay, they must still have them. And that must have been the last one. Either that or they pre-ordered, I'm not sure which. But the story is cooler if it was the last one. But they were out when I got there. But like, I also didn't really care. And then I read online, like, oh, Target is not putting their Switches up online until 24 hours after launch to sort of like combat scalping. And so then I was just up at 4 in the morning and I remembered that and I was like, oh, I should probably check on that. And I did, and they were for sale. It said they'll sell out soon, but, you know, I don't know. They hadn't, so I just got one. And I bought it on, you know, Saturday morning, 4 in the morning. Or Friday morning, 4 in the morning. And it arrived today. You know, while I was streaming, it arrived. I took I took a break to pick up the package. That's what it was. So, they're not selling out as ridiculously as you might expect, and I imagine some of that is because of the price hesitation and the weak launch library. imagine when Legends ZA comes out, like, more of them will sell. And the Donkey Kong game, I don't think it's gonna be a system seller, but for some people, that will be the thing that, like, makes you get them. I think the scummiest thing is that the bundle is such a saver. Like, Mario Kart, we keep talking about this game as if it is $80, but what it actually is it's a $50 game that will go up in price later this year. This is $50 at launch, and if you don't buy it at launch, it gets more expensive. And like, framing it that way sort of highlights the scumminess of the pricing model. Because they do not think this game is actually worth $80. They think they can use this game to make people buy a console at launch to give them a more successful launch. And it worked! Yeah, I bought the bundle! And I guarantee you I'm not the only person who only got it at launch because of the bundle. Because I wanted to save $30. $30 is a lot of money to save. For something that I know is not going to go down in price anyway. And in fact will only go up in price. Because, you know, because the bundle will go up, right? Or because the bundle will go away. And like, that's the scumminess. I feel like that's the problem. Also, did I just beat King Boo first try? Damn. Maybe I'm just a gamer. Lucky. Maybe, I don't know. Could be luck, could be skill, impossible to tell. Extremely on topic, but the Fortnite dev team released a blog post with a picture of Crom in it. Fortnite X FE collab soon, trust. Interesting. That would be kind of funny. We would get Fortnite Dancing Leaf for real, instead of just the GIF that I use because I don't have any Thracia footage. I'm gonna be playing Thracia on the channel soon, though. After we finish the FE4 playthrough, I'm gonna do an FE5 playthrough, because they're linked, right? And I need to, I've realized I've never played Thracia on the channel before, and I like Thracia. Well, I played a failed Iron Man, the boss reversal Iron Man, and I failed it. But I've never done a full playthrough, so I kind of just want to do a vanilla Thracia playthrough. The launch seems so little. Are there any, like, notable new games besides Mario Kart World? There's literally not even no notable ones. I'm pretty sure there's none whatsoever. Let's just check. There's a bunch of, like, oh, the Bravely Default remake is out, I'm pretty sure. Recent releases. Delta Ruin, not an exclusive. This is not a game. This is the only other exclusive Switch 2. Everything else is... Yeah. So, it's not just no games. The only other real game is a remaster, which, to be fair, phenomenal RPG. If you've never played it, I would recommend it. The eShop doesn't run like ass. Yes, that is the hugest update, right? The eShop is good. Maybe that could have been a selling point. But yeah, everything else is like... Not only are they cross-platform stuff, I mean, this, I guess, technically was not on Switch 1. But, like, it's not a new game. $70? $70 fucking dollars? I'm sorry, but I bought this at launch for $60. And it was a scam, so I returned it. I got a full refund. $70 fucking dollars for Cyberpunk? Yo, you're fucking joking. And then there's, like, some Switch 2 editions, right? Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm glad they have Shadow X Sonic for Pride Month. $70 fucking dollars for Cyberpunk. I know that they fixed Cyberpunk, but it's a 5-year-old game. 5-year-old games should not be selling for $70. It's not even a remake. It's not even a remake. It's just a game that's available on, like, PS5 and PC. Wild.
Peggy 3.
Unfortunately, I'm here, which means we have to turn off the Garfield card trailer.